Britain stands on the edge of a political revolution. For months, the Labour government has been crumbling under immense pressure, with public outrage, policy failures, and record-low approval ratings pushing the country to the brink. The people have spoken, and they are demanding change. But the final nail in the coffin came not from the opposition, but from within the very heart of the establishment. King Charles himself was reportedly forced to step in, signalling deep concerns about the nation's direction. Meanwhile, Reform UK, led by Nigel Farage, has surged forward, capitalising on Labour's catastrophic downfall. The British political landscape is changing, and it's changing fast. Let's dive into this unprecedented political shift. In 2024, Labour achieved a monumental victory. With 411 MPs and a commanding 174-seat majority in the House of Commons, they swept into power after 14 years of Conservative rule. At the time, the nation seemed ready for a change. The British people gave Labour a resounding mandate, hoping the party would deliver on its promises of economic stability, social reform, and public services. Prime Minister Keir Starmer, with his calm demeanour and strong rhetoric, appeared to be the leader who could take the country into a new era. But what followed was far from the promised land. Instead of ushering in an era of prosperity, the public soon found themselves confronting a series of missteps, blunders, and increasing instability. The optimism of Labour's first days in office began to crumble as quickly as the approval ratings of its leaders. Just months into office, the promises of prosperity began to unravel. Economic instability became the new normal. Inflation surged, pushing up the cost of living. Wages stagnated, and millions of Brits found themselves struggling to make ends meet. The economic crisis hit, and Labour's response? Ineffective policies that did little to ease the burden. Take Rachel Reeves, Chancellor of the Exchequer, for instance. As the economy spiraled, she struggled to provide any clarity or decisive action. Her spring statement was met with widespread criticism, and her approval ratings took a sharp dive. Only 23% of the public approved of her performance, while nearly half disapproved. This wasn't just bad luck, it was the consequence of weak leadership during a time of national crisis. But it wasn't just the economy. Labour's policy proposals were facing a backlash from nearly every corner of society. Farmers, pensioners, environmentalists, all found themselves at odds with the party's approach. The public was losing confidence, and Labour's approval ratings began to reflect that. And just when it seemed things couldn't get worse for Labour, a shock wave rippled through the political establishment. King Charles, reportedly concerned with the direction of the country, stepped in. For a monarch to intervene in such a direct manner is extraordinary. It was a sign that the issues facing the nation had reached a breaking point. When the monarchy starts signalling concern, it's no longer just a political crisis, it's a national one. The public's frustration reached its peak, and the political leaders in charge could no longer deny the chaos they had caused. What followed was a stunning shift. The Labour government, once seen as a beacon of hope, had become the very embodiment of incompetence. The polls don't lie. Keir Starmer's approval rating has hit rock bottom. From a net approval of plus 9% in his first months as leader, Starmer's ratings have plummeted to minus 18%. That's a dramatic 27-point drop. But that's not all. Nearly half of the population now disapproves of his leadership, and his handling of the economy, crime, and public health has made it clear he's out of touch with the people. In fact, public dissatisfaction has reached such heights that even within his own party, voices are beginning to question his leadership. Senior Labour figures are now openly debating whether Starmer can lead them out of this mess or whether it's time for a change. His responses to the nation's problems have been weak, and his inability to deliver on promises has led to a catastrophic loss of confidence. But it's not just Starmer. The entire government is under fire. The public's view of Labour's competence is at an all-time low. In fact, a majority of voters, 53%, now consider the government completely incompetent. While Labour was sinking, another political force was quietly rising. Reform UK, under the leadership of Nigel Farage, saw an opportunity. As the country grew disillusioned with the Labour government, Farage and his party capitalised on the widespread frustration, positioning themselves as the only viable alternative. And it worked. Polling data revealed a shocking shift. Farage is now neck and neck with Starmer in the race for Prime Minister. In the final pre-election polls, Farage led Starmer by just 1 point, 37% to 36%. That's a seismic shift in a country where Labour and the Conservatives have long dominated the political scene. Reform UK's rise isn't just a sign of public discontent with Labour, it's a reflection of the deepest shift in British politics. For the first time in decades, a third party is emerging as a serious contender for power. As Labour crumbles, Farage has found himself on the precipice of what could be a historic political takeover. Unlike Starmer, who's struggling to assert his authority, Farage has been quick to present himself as a man with a clear plan for the future. His messaging resonates with millions who feel that Labour has abandoned them. The combination of economic frustration, social unrest, and a lack of faith in Labour has created a perfect storm for Reform UK to surge ahead. Reform UK isn't just gaining support from disgruntled former Conservative voters, they're drawing in disillusioned Labour voters as well. With Farage's leadership, the party has tapped into a sense of urgency and change that the public is eager to embrace. The political landscape is shifting, and it's clear that the rise of Reform UK is no longer just a possibility, it's a reality. The final blow came when voters were asked who would make a better Prime Minister, Starmer or Farage. The results were clear. Farage led by a narrow margin, 37% to 36%, signalling the end of Labour's dominance. A majority of Brits now believe that Starmer has no clear plan for the future, and many are ready to throw their support behind Reform UK. This isn't just a loss for Starmer, it's a loss for Labour as a whole. With Farage now seen as a serious alternative, the British people are ready for change. They want a leader who will listen, act decisively, and restore stability to the nation. Labour's time in power may be drawing to a close, and Reform UK is positioned to take its place. The rise of Nigel Farage and the collapse of Starmer's government signal the beginning of a new political era in Britain. Will Reform UK be able to deliver on its promises? Only time will tell. But for now, the British people are ready for something new, something different, and they are turning to Reform UK to bring about the change they so desperately need.